want to remind us that Jiga was nominated for this position basically because of the constituency he came from, the civil society. Because of the pedigree he had as the ASU president and his, his forthrightness in fighting the cause of ASU, the union he led during the military administration. So, it is expected, therefore, that at this age, because he was much younger then, it is too late in the day for the snake to turn short instead of getting longer, because snake is not known for being short. That is why it is important that every Nigerian must see whatever mistakes he has made, because INEC has made a plenitude of it, as honest mistake. Because even in law, honest mistakes are reasonably excusable. But when there is some element of chicanery or contrivance, then there will be problem. And like she said, rightly said, history is there. Nigerians have become very wise, and it is better to live on the side of the people than to live a life of affluence in perdition as a result of contrivance that took place in a public office you were given in trust. I will rest my case there.
I like the bit about the affluence in perdition. but before you came in to react, Mrs. Benito was talking about the attitude, basically the attitude of the Nigerian electorate. I mean, going out there, it's about what my decision, my choice. If we have to weigh that attitude as against a desire to see a better day, a desire to see these elections go smoothly. Some people lost their lives in 2011, post-election violence. Now, how should they behave when they go to the polling booths? 300 meters away, or not 300 meters away. IGP has been quoted as saying, vote and go. Reactions have come as in, why should you go? What should be the behavior of the electorate when they get to the polling unit? And we'll talk about how prepared they are.
Yes, I alluded to that when I said you vote and leave the place. And you cannot claim to be more Catholic than the Pope. I made that statement. Perhaps I should explain it further. I do not know how much valuable property you left in a Pentecostal church that you should clap yourself to stupor when the pastor has not done the same. Are you getting my drift? The point I'm making, therefore, is that if you vote, that is a civil duty you owe to this country. If you have allegiance to any political party, you must invest your hope and faith in the candidate and the party and the agent they have appointed to oversee their interest, that they can do so. You cannot do better than those people who actually have direct interest and responsibility to discharge that function. You can only find more problem for yourself, and you'll be alone.
Okay,
when you are in that trouble.
Mr. Benije, let's talk about social reforms in reshaping. You talked about value system, reshaping the mindset of the electorate. And some might say, it's just a few hours to the election. It's too late to begin to want to reshape anybody's mindset towards the election. But how do we go about it?
No, I mean, there's a lot of things I'm even doing tonight into tomorrow. There's so much to be done to reinstate, emphasize, re-emphasize, assure, reassure at every level. Nigeria is a country that belongs to Nigerians. Our leaders are not Senegalese or Gambians. They are Nigerians. And therefore, an electoral system that we have today and everyone that is contesting and the heated up of arguments is as a result of who we are. Who we are is manifesting this season, and guess what? The whole world is watching us. And I tell Nigerians, I say, it is time for us to grow up and be Nigerians indeed by loving our country. And one of that responsibility is that tomorrow, you should go out and vote. And after voting, like my beloved brother has said, walk away. trust the system to work, i.e., there are agents on the ground. And guess what? Like never before, there are even private agents also on the ground, men and women who themselves, who are monitoring this election to ensure that there will not be any irregulation. And to every INEC officer too has been warned that the nation is watching INEC at every center what is happening. INEC is meant to train the people to be neutral and to have a sense of duty that this is Nigeria and they must do what is right. So therefore, my boss cannot tell me to change figures that are already been established. So this is a season that is testing the soul of Nigerians. That as a people, as the leaders of Africa, are we ready to do it right? And therefore, a Nigerian who is totally proud, because an average Nigerian is pompous and full. In the airport, you know that this is a Nigerian when you say a black man walking with tall and strong. Now, this is the hour to prove your character and your sense of duty as a Nigerian.
You know, speaking about that character, because one wonders how many people have that mindset, because yes, we've introduced the PVCs, the card readers for the first time in our election history. You will have circumstances wherein already there are people who are saying, look, I don't have my PVC, so I only have my TVC, and God help anybody, because I will go to that place with my TVC, let me hear from the horse's mouth and how they'll tell me to go back, even though it's been said time and again. If you don't have your permanent voter cards, don't even bother coming. But you have all those who will also go there and they will experience some challenges on that day. Tempers may be a little high. And all of those challenges that may be associated with this kind of scenario we're using for the first time, where everybody is a little tense. Do people have that mindset that, look, when you get there, just be calm, because trust the system, assume that nobody is there to maybe pull a fast one on you, and then they see things through. Or because you have people who will also go there agitated and say, look, I can't wait for this. Give me my incidence form, fill the form for me quickly, and let me move on. We need to handle all those on that day properly. Yes,
I agree with you. Like I said the last time I was here, the security forces, the police, I don't know if they have added man-o-war. I don't know what has been added. But I heard that there will be security at every polling center. And I hope there are not secret polling centers anywhere that are not INEC approved. But hopefully the ones that are INEC approved, they will ensure that they do what is right. I believe that INEC has prepared on the ground for such questions and answers. However, the media in the next few hours should reiterate it. If you don't have your PVC, don't bother. Pass. This election is gone. It's called pass. 2019, hopefully, you are alive, you have the opportunity. I had people last in 2011 that they also had their TVC, but they did not vote for one reason or the other. I have someone now, he can't travel because of family issues. So you may have the opportunity, you may not have the opportunity, but don't go there and create chaos. Because at the end of the day, you go down dead. R.I.P., rest in peace. For what? What do you have a legacy in your name? That I fought for Tinubu, I fought for APC, I fought for Jonathan, I fought for what? The fight is the fight for Nigeria, not the fight for the individuals. So I believe, I'm telling you, in the last 1 week, a lot has been done. I've moved around to a few places, marketplaces. People are conscious that of the issue of security, that they should not go out of their way and have an outburst and get angry. My goodness, the boots are on the ground, and I'm glad that the boots are on the ground. Because woe betide you, I think the military will not be too far away from any nonsense that is going to happen, especially in this Lagos that I heard there were some shootings in places like Munshin and the stadium. I am trusting God also that as Nigerians, we will show the world that we're not barbaric.
And then there's this part, that argument about the 300-meter question, which is on section 129 of the Electoral Act. But I think the IGP also did say, look, he advised people, he tried to clarify what he meant by that. But there's this part as well, 63 subsection 4 of the Electoral Act, that says, the presiding officer shall count and announce the results at the polling unit. That's after all has been done. So if you have about 2 or 3 police officers manning each polling unit, and you have well over 100 or 200 people waiting for the results to be announced, we're assuming that things will go well, that whoever loses will just conduct themselves decently, accept the results, and go home. But in the event that perhaps that's not the case, how do you see things happening if 3 policemen against, maybe even if there are 50 or 30, even 20 people on that day?
I don't think, I mean, well, maybe at this rate of the consistency of announcement and all the peace accord and the many announcements that are happening even over the night, I do not see the stupidity of anyone fighting over one police station if the man does not win. Because that one police station is not a determining factor. I don't know what INEC has been told to do as they arrive, whether there's going to be an announcement before the 1 o'clock voting, because guess what, we're still going to stamp. Apparently, I thought we're not stamping. There's going to be a thumb printing. Yes. So all the announcements will be done. But I think Nigerians are more aware that I don't want to get involved with that level of fight. And I'm thinking that most people are going to vote and leave. That's what's going to happen. It's not going to be like 2011 where we all stayed back and we're watching jealously over the vote. But like he said, you can't be more Catholic than the Pope. So I don't think I'm going to stay there. I think I'm taking his advice. Normally, I usually stay to the end. But now I think there's an agent for me to call later and find out what exactly happened in my polling booth, because you can't predict the nonsense.
Isn't the passion so much that people don't want to just leave it with the agents?
No, some people will not leave it with the agent. No, we know. There are going to be people who are going to remain precise, because even the agent, they cannot be trusted. Maybe you have been bribed. How much did they give you? You know, the tension is on. But however, the number of people like 2011 that waited behind is not going to happen this year. I don't think so, because everybody's conscious. They have children to take care of, and children are not coming back. And everybody's going to run home and say, please, my children are home, or my husband's at home, or my family's at home if you're single. But I think the voice of reasoning has entered the air. The atmosphere is a little bit calm, but Lagos, the inner cities, is where we're going to have maybe a little bit of issues, and that's where they need to control. The inner cities where the area boys are concentrated. I think over the night, security has to make sure that those areas are totally, because those boys have been used over the years, so they're used to this election season as their opportunity.
So if you Mr. Naji,
add to that issue.
Real quick.
Yes, real quick. I am emphasizing that if you vote, it is important that you change location. Because there's this factor in psychology, they call it the group think. There are things you cannot do on your own. But when you are about 2 or 3 or 4 together, you can champion a cause that can destroy a house by fire or anything, which ordinarily you will not be able to do if you were on your own as a gentle person. That's why some people break down when they are now picked alone after having committed that offense in group. They begin to say it's the Satan or that and that. To avoid a situation that will conduce to such violence, needlessly, because somebody must win the election.
Okay, Mr. Naji, Mr. Benichi has to say something to the voters. Okay. Just before we shut down this segment, could you just look to the camera and just talk to the voters in 30 seconds?
I believe that Nigeria's season has come. This is a new day. It has never been like this before, but we want to challenge everyone. In the 21st century, violence is not tolerated by any nation. And therefore, the young man, especially those who are voting for the first time, I am concerned about you, because you don't have an idea what has happened in this country in the last few decades. And therefore, you are just new in the game called politics. Do not allow yourself to be used. The 21st century, Africa is rising, and Nigeria is leading the way. And therefore, tomorrow, go out peaceably. Wear flash shoes. Look very simple. Do not be too glamorous and going out on election day. Make sure you pay your price of going out and do the right thing. It is your civic duty. In this hour, in this season, our morale as a nation is being questioned. And all over the world where we are represented, our children all over the world are going to be watching. And their neighbors who are foreigners are going to be looking at them at Nigeria and say, your country didn't get it right. And I do not think so. Nigerians were better than this. We can do much better, and we will do better, because tomorrow is history, and we will have the most peaceful election that Africa has ever had. God bless you. We look forward to a new day in Nigeria.
Thank you very much indeed, Julia Benite, a social reformer of the Institute of National Transformation, and then Chairman Naji, a legal practitioner, also a professional in politics, but he will also be here with us when we return by 7, because News Track is up next by 6. But gentlemen and ladies, thank you very much indeed for coming on.
Thank you so much. Our pleasure being here.